Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Elliot Webber and welcome to episode 6 of BTCC What If, the series on my channel where of course we take certain moments or certain points that happened throughout the past years of BTCC and we see what would happen if it played out differently. And this one is something very different from my previous episodes, and it's something that, do you know what, it got suggested and I thought it'd be an interesting one to talk about. I don't know how I'm going to talk about it, but yeah, let's just get straight into this. This is what if the TOCA games continued. So let's get straight into this. Now, of course, if you don't know already what the TOCA games are, basically they were a pair of racing video games that came out many years ago now. In fact, I believe it was 1998 and 1999. They both came out. I think I, of course, wasn't even born yet. So if I am wrong, then just do let me know in the comments below. But yeah, the TOCA games were a pair of racing video games. In fact, the first one, more or less, was known as TOCA Touring Cars. That is because, yep, they were games based on the BTCC, of course, back in the golden age of BTCC, the Super Touring Car era. And of course, they were games that really helped BTCC become the popular global phenomenon that it was in the 90s and in the late 90s. And of course, these games came out at the best time, especially for BTCC, as of course, 97, 98, 99, they were the peak in terms of popularity. They were the peak of BTCC. So I think those games coming out when they did really helped establish the BTCC as a major racing series. Of course, unfortunately, we haven't seen a BTCC game since. Motorsport games, thank you very much for ruining everyone's dreams, including mine. Of course, whilst there isn't an official BTCC video game, of course, there have been some BTCC DLC or some BTCC add-ons onto R Factor 2, of course, what's mainly known as a racing simulator, of course. They have added the 2022 and now the 2023 BTCC seasons on there. So, of course, you can add, of course, if you have R Factor on PC, you, of course, can play the BTCC seasons you want. Unfortunately, R Factor is a PC game, and me being a console gamer, this one hurts. So, yeah, hopefully someone picks up the BTCC license from Motorsport Games, because they are, I'm sure many of you know already, Motorsport Games are a terrible company, a very dodgy one at that. So hopefully BTCC or TOCA relinquish their license with Motorsport Games and they give it to someone else who, I don't know, I'm not bothered as long as hopefully we get a BTCC game in the future. But anyway, we're not here to talk about if a video game could happen in the future. We're here to talk about what if the TOCA games continued. So let's talk about it. First of all, we have to figure out how they could continue, via who would make the games, who would develop the games, blah, 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 what would be in these future games, and how consistently will these games come out. First of all, who would make these games? Pretty simple, Codemasters, like they did making the first two games. Codemasters, of course, very famously now known for making the annual F1 games, of course, whilst recently the F1 games haven't been as good as they used to be. Thank you, EA, for that. Of course, F1, the video games for F1 have, I think, have also what helped a lot of younger people get into Formula 1. Like myself, I got into F1 over 10 years ago, and obviously those video games helped, I think, me become an F1 fan, because you got to play as your favourite drivers in your favourite cars. And you got to either recreate your favourite races or even rewrite your favourite races in F1 games. And you could do the same in BTCC. For example, if you wanted to make Jason Plato become the 97 champion instead of Alain Menu, you could do that. So yeah, Codemasters, for me, I think they would keep on making these games, because let's be honest, who else would? Even so, Codemasters, they know how to make video games. They know how to make good video games at that. So I think, yeah, keeping Codemasters on to make the touring car games, I think would work. So now we have to talk about how consistently or how frequently would these games come out. For me, how I would do it to keep the games fresh, I would have them come out every 2 years, and I wouldn't do it so they wouldn't be named TOCA 23 23 or 24 like most video games nowadays, because I don't think a yearly game with a yearly title similar to FIFA or FC24 as it's now known as, I don't think that works, because it means you only really have a year, less than that in fact, if you're making the game, to make the game. So I think having a touring car game come out every 2 years, I think would be, I think better in my opinion. But how would this work? Because of course, one game every 2 years, you're gonna have to add 2 seats, which is why, yeah, you're gonna have to add a second season, which is why. So for example, let's say the TOCA games continued into the 2000s. So for example, TOCA 3 would be the 2000 season and the 2001 season, and then so on and so forth. So TOCA 4 would be 2002 and 2003, TOCA 5 would be 2004 and 2005, so on and so forth until we get to the modern day. So yeah, that's how I do it. Of course, I'm not pitching anything though. If someone is going to make a touring car game in the future, then I wouldn't mind giving you some ideas. So also, what would also be on these games? Well, of course, in 2002, it was widely, the TOCA Tour, or now the TOCA support package, was widely popularised and became more well known. Of course, included the Clear Cup for many years, included Genettas for 10 years. Of course, I believe the first game actually had Fiestas in it back in the day, I believe it. I haven't played the first game in many, many years. I'll have to iron out my dad's old PS2 somewhere. But yeah, I think having the support package on these TOCA touring car games as well, I think would really help, because then it would be really immersive for career mode. Of course, we've seen in real life many a driver come up through the TOCA package. People like Tom Ingram, Jake Hill, most recently George Gamble, Ricky Collard as well, was someone who's come up through the TOCA support package. So I think having that in a career mode type thing would be really immersive, and also I think would be a little bit more realistic. So I think having more than just the BTCC would work brilliantly, I think. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think that's pretty much it. Well, of course we have to talk about what if. That's the whole point of the video. What if these games were to come out every year, annually, if they had continued on to the modern day like today? I think it would really help with the popularity of the BTCC. I think having these games come out consistently would really help BTCC become popular. Not only that, attract younger people, people even younger than me. I'm 19, so I'm feeling a little bit old nowadays as a motorsport fan. I've been watching for a long time. But yeah, I think having, you know, young people are the future of their, and that's in everything. They're the future of the world and everything else. But of course, we need future fan bases. So I think introducing, you know, having a video game would really help that, help wider audiences. And yeah, pretty much, I think, yeah, this would really help BTCC in terms of popularity. Of course, touring cars recently, BTCC, ever since the loss of Super Tourers, they haven't, I don't think they've ever been popular as they were in the 90s. Of course, I know there are some people watching these videos that are not from the UK and are BTCC fans. If you're watching this from outside the UK, hello, thanks for watching. So yeah, I think releasing these continued TOCA games worldwide would also really help BTCC in terms of a worldwide audience. Now, I have a video planned after these What If videos and after another predictions video that I've got that will be coming in the next few weeks. Yeah, a future video, I will go through what I would do if I was running the BTCC. I think that would be a really interesting video to do. So yeah, I think having a worldwide audience would really help the BTCC, which is why they need a worldwide TV deal at some point as well. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Something very different, me just rambling like all my videos, to be honest. But yeah, that is what I would think would happen if BTCC had continued the TOCA touring car games. Now, of course, as I mentioned at the start of the video, we have not seen an official BTCC licensed game since TOCA 2. So we desperately need another video game, and we need one that isn't just an add-on to another PC simulator game. We need something that is gonna, and we need an actual video game. We need something like the F1 games where we have career mode, we have my team potentially, a livery career. We need an actual video game. So hopefully we will finally get a game available for PC, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation in the near future, hopefully as soon as 2025. But who knows with what's going on with this motorsport games malarkey. But anyway, that was What If. The TOCA games continue. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, if you're new around here, be sure to like this video, share with your mates as well, because it does help my channel grow. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.